What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Free Game Friday, brought to you by Thrill Sports and Entertainment. Once again, I'm your host and your go-to sports agent, Ricardo Hill Jr., and for today's episode, we're going to break down college sports' three favorite letters, NIL. So what we're going to do today is we're going to break down NIL into some simple terms. We're going to talk about some real-world examples of how it works, and we're going to have a little bit of fun while we're at it. So, thank you again for joining us, and let's dive straight into it. So, what exactly is NIL? NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. Basically, it's an athlete's right to get paid for who they are, hence their name, image, or likeness. Think of it as being able to make money just for being yourself. Sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? Well, it really can be. Now, oftentimes we see athletes getting paid for their name, image, and likeness through various endorsement deals, through social media posts, through personal appearances, and even selling their own merchandise. It really opens up the floodgates in how college athletes can make money. Now, these opportunities weren't always available for college athletes, unfortunately, including when I played as well. Anyway, let's rewind for a bit and talk about the progression of NIL. For the longest time, college athletes couldn't make a dime off their name, image, or likeness. The rules were super strict and prevented them from being able to get paid, as they would no longer be considered an amateur athlete, but would be considered a professional athlete if they received compensation. While that logic kind of made sense, the perspective on it changed due to some serious legal battles that essentially pushed for athletes to get paid. The landmark case here was called O'Bannon v. NCAA, and in that case, a UCLA basketball player sued the NCAA over the use of his likeness in video games without compensation. This opened the door for the conversation centered around whether athletes should be paid. And in 2021, states began allowing college athletes to monetize their name, image, and likeness. Collectives also formed around that time, which essentially allows colleges to pay athletes through donors and other forms of compensation. Then in 2022, we really started to see some major NIL deals come through. We'll get to some of those in a minute. Now, fast forward into January of 2024. The NCAA finally approved some new NIL rules. Here's basically what you need to know. Schools can now directly help athletes receive NIL deals and can directly affect their NIL activities. However, to ensure more transparency, the athletes must disclose their NIL deals. And the NCAA has been pushing to offer new resources to help athletes navigate all of these new NCAA NIL opportunities. Now, the history lesson is cool and all, but let's talk about the important stuff. How can you make some money? So, here are the ways that college athletes tend to make money from their name, image, or likeness. First, we've got endorsement deals. This is what we often see when athletes partner with brands to promote certain products. Think of Gatorade deals, Nike deals, things like that. Second, we've got social media, of course. Now, this allows athletes to monetize their Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and other social media accounts so they can make money essentially off of their own fame. Third, we've got public appearances. Now, obviously, this is self-explanatory. We have athletes being able to go to speaking engagements, autograph sessions, meet and greets, and provide them an opportunity to really make some money off of that. Fourth, we've got merchandise. This provides an athlete to create and sell their own line of merchandise, such as t-shirts, hoodies, ownership interest in business, you name it. These new NIL rules have provided opportunities for college athletes to make life-changing money. However, there are some risk factors to look out for. Some of the things to watch out for include scams and bad deals. There have been numerous situations that have been coming out over the last couple of years where athletes essentially got taken advantage of because they ended up signing or some bad NIL deals or committing to something that they probably shouldn't because they were sold a dream. Another thing is, if you are making a lot of money through NIL or any money, make sure that you're talking with someone and make sure that you have your tax implications put together, as they can get you in a tricky situation as well. And last but not least, for any college athlete out there, if you're signing some NIL deals, if you're considering NIL in your recruitment, don't let it distract you from what your goal is. Whether it's to graduate, to become a professional in your sport, or any other things that you have, remember what your goal is for getting to college, playing sports, and doing your thing. So, with that being said, let's dive into some real life examples of these NIL deals that have been changing the landscape of college sports. Now, over the last couple of years, we've seen some major NIL deals throughout college sports. Particularly, let's talk about women's college basketball, which has grown so much in popularity over the last few years that has really changed the landscape of how the average college fan watches sports. This is largely because of athletes like Angel Reese. Now, while Angel Reese was at LSU, she grew so much in fame and popularity due to her charisma and obviously talent on the basketball court that, amongst other NIL deals, she signed a deal with Reebok. This is particularly notable because Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson, two of the most popular basketball players in history, are now running Reebok's basketball division as they look to re-enter that basketball market and make that strong presence that they once had. This deal is particularly notable for NIL purposes because Angel Reese is now playing for the Chicago Sky, and the whole world is watching her grow and develop there, and she will have a great long career. If you ask me, she's already a great player and she's on track to do great things that she's been doing. But the height of her popularity really began in college. Under the previous rules, she wouldn't have been able to take advantage of that, and neither would Reebok. But now, it's looking up for both Angel, it's looking up for Reebok, and it's looking like they're going to cash out and really kind of build that division together that may or may not be centered around her. Second, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. You can't talk about women's basketball without talking about Caitlin Clark. Now, since she got to the pros, there was a report that came out that said Caitlin Clark signed a deal with Nike for over $25, maybe $28 million, I believe. Before then, she also had an NIL deal with Nike where she cashed out on about $3 million. I mean, this allows brands and Caitlin to really kind of excel and make the most out of the situation while the whole world has been watching Caitlin Clark play and watching her thrive, whether you like her or not. You gotta watch her. So why not cash out for the brands, and why not cash out for herself? Last but not least, we really can't talk about NIL deals unless you talk about Bronny James. Bronny James, it was reported that Bronny James cashed out on NIL deals with Nike, Beats by Dre, PSD Underwear, where his NIL valuation was over $5 million. He's obviously the son of NBA legend LeBron James. His value is going to continue to go up, and I'm really a fan of his and hope to see him do great things as he enters his pro basketball process. That's a wrap for NIL today. For you athletes out there, just remember it's about leveraging your hard work, your talent, and just who you are as a person. So stay focused, stay locked in, and stay informed. And if you ever want to know more, just remember, follow me on Instagram at ThrillSportsENT. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and keep watching Free Game Friday. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you like it. Share it with all your friends, share it with your family, share it with everybody. And stay tuned for next week's Free Game Friday. That's all I got. Dream big, hustle hard. Peace.